According to the Oxfam report, the global recession is impacting upon Britain's poor and those currently unemployed.
Even before the recession started in the United Kingdom, there were more than 13 million people living below the poverty line. Since the recession has really hit hard, we think that that's only risen. As people have lost their jobs, as they've lost their homes, that number is going to get higher and higher unless the government acts now to try and stop poverty becoming entrenched in the United Kingdom.
It's called for a 6-point plan, including putting more money in the hands of Britain's poorest.
That means raising benefits for people who are unemployed or out of work. At the moment in the UK, job seekers' allowance is only £60 a week. Now, we asked the general public, we asked 2,000 of them, and more than 2/3 said that they couldn't live on that amount of money. £15 a week extra for some of the poorest people in our society who are out of work would only cost £1.5 billion. That's less than 0.5% of what the government invested to help the banks last autumn.
More money is also needed for social housing, sustainable jobs and tax benefits for those on low incomes.
At the moment, the poorest quintile of the income distribution pay about 38% of their income in tax, as against only 35% for the people at the top end of the income scale. We'd like to see a much fairer tax regime in the United Kingdom, taking people on low wages and low incomes out of income tax wherever possible. It would be great if we could raise the income tax bands so that people on the national minimum wage, for example, didn't pay any income tax. That would cost only a little bit more than the VAT cut that the government put forward at the pre-budget report last autumn.
Oxfam want to see more investment in people to help them during the recession.
In previous recessions, we've seen people who've been really badly affected, particularly young people who lost their jobs, suffering in the long term. Now, if the government doesn't act now, it could result in a short-term crisis for people losing their jobs and losing their home, becoming a long-term tragedy. People lose their life opportunities, their livelihoods, and they never recover to where they would have been. Without the investment to help those people now, that's the future that we could see for people living below the poverty line in Britain.
Oxfam believe if their 6-point plan is put into place, it would not only help Britain's poorest, but could be a genuine stimulus for growth.